Well, hello there, everyone. It is Monday, February the 7th in the year of 2022. I hope you're doing well. Please subscribe, and thank you to all the subscribers. When I checked earlier this morning, I was up to 199. So let's see if we can push me over that magical number of 200. And I do appreciate all of you. I hope you all can learn some nuggets from me, nuggets of information that will help you on your journey to financial independence. Okay? All right, something I'm going to talk about this morning, and something, let me back up 1 second. Yesterday, I heard from a real estate investor who an article was done on him. It's behind a paywall. It's on Business Insider. And it's behind a paywall, and I'm not going to pay for the subscription. But I did see a little clip from the article, and it gave the monthly income of this real estate investor. Okay? And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. And then I know roughly how many rentals they have, and I know what area they're in, so I did some math. And I was like, well, I could see that happening. You know, if you got some paid off properties and whatnot, I could see that happening. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you the number. You can do your own research and figure it out. All right, so I got to thinking, what would you do if you could have $1,000 a month? Just $1,000 a month, okay? We have been through a period of time where the government was giving us checks. Not all of us, but the majority of society. I got some fractional checks because my income was higher and whatnot. But anyway, let's say a lot of people loved $1,000 a month. A lot of people want the government to give us $1,000 a month, okay? I'm not going to voice an opinion on if we should do that or not do that, but let's look at you individually. Would $1,000 a month help you? All right, I'll just say this, you can't count on the government. Maybe this administration pays it, the next one doesn't, who knows? But how can you get $1,000 extra a month? All right, an easy way is to start buying rental property. All right, I throw out numbers like with each single family home I buy, I have a goal of getting, after all expenses, and I'll tell you the expenses real quick, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance. A lot of times that's all rolled together, mortgage, taxes, and insurance. Holding out a percentage for vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. I typically use around 19 to 20% for that figure. And then anything, if I have any other expenses, tack that in there. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And then whatever's left over is positive cash flow. So if you have the rent of $1,000 a month, your mortgage is $500, and say that 20% is $200. So you're at $700. So maybe you're at $300 a month positive cash flow. Okay. Well, let's just say it's $250. All right. You're at $250 a month positive cash flow for one rental. Some of you will say, big deal. $250 for the stress, the headache of buying a house. Only $250. It's not worth it. I'm here to tell you it is worth it. All right, because if you get one, get two. Because if you get two, then you get three. If you get three, you get four. All right, if you get four, you're at $1,000 a month. And let's say you just stopped. You stopped. All right, you said, I don't like this game. It's too stressful and whatnot. But you hold on to them. And over time, the magic of compounding works. And what will happen, it may not happen every year, it may happen every year, is the rent will slowly go up. I think historical averages maybe 2 to 3% a year. Okay, we've been through a time period where nationally rents have gone up 10, 15, 20%. So, they may pull back a bit there. There's also, if you got properties that could use some little upgrades without spending too much money, perhaps you can, it's what's called forced appreciation. Perhaps you can do some upgrades so when you have tenant turnover, you fix it up a bit and you raise the rent to bring in a higher quality tenant. That's a possibility also. So if nothing else, with rent increases, forced appreciation, more rent increases, that $1,000 a month over time would go up. Okay, and then if nothing else, over 30 years, let's say you're 25 years old, over 30 years, you're now 55, you want to retire, you had now paid off all 4 houses, and your monthly income from rentals might be, I don't know what it might be, $2,500 a month in today's dollars. Okay, in 30 years from now, it'd be more than that, but in today's dollars. Okay, would that help you to retire? Okay, I think it would. So if that would help you to retire, why stop at 4? What if you get 5? And if you get 5, you might as well keep on going and get to 10. And if you get to 10 rentals, well, then you have sort of figured out this game of buying real estate, right? Think about that. You get to 10. Have you figured it out? You're not an expert, but have you somewhat figured it out? It's my morning cup of green tea. All right, my hair is still not dry from my shower. So anyway, then let's say you get to 10. As I am learning, there are ways to get 30-year fixed rate mortgages. Once you get to 10 mortgages to go above and beyond. And that's what I'm working on getting. They kind of call it a non-QM lender. Okay, the interest rate will be higher, and you might put 25% down instead of 20, but it's okay. You still got to find the deals and make the numbers work. But there's no reason to stop. You can keep on growing. So I like to set goals. So when I read about this person having a monthly income in the six figures, I was like, whoa, that's a big goal. So I broke it down a little bit, and I put it out to my mastermind group. And I said something to the effect of, if you're getting $1,000 a month from rental property, can you set a goal to get to $5,000? And if you get to $5,000 a month from your rental property, can you set a goal to get to $10,000? Because the number of rental properties doesn't really matter. What it is what is your take-home pay? Okay, what's your take-home pay? After all expenses, what's your take-home pay? So if you get up to $5,000, you get to $10,000. Once you get to $10,000, set a bigger goal. Put it at maybe $25,000. And if I'm throwing this number out and you're at one rental house and you're getting $250 a month and you're like $25,000 a month, how can that happen? Well, youngster, it's math. It is math. All right, so we'll keep the math easy. If you're at $250 a month positive cash flow, if you multiply that by 10, you're at $2,500 a month. Okay, but if you multiply it by 100, you're at $25,000 a month. Okay, but as I have learned, if I start at $250 a month, over time, my take-home cash goes up. I have some rentals that were somewhere around $250 a month positive cash flow, and they're now pushing $600 a month through forced appreciation, through market, through the pandemic, through everything happening. It was the perfect storm where nationally rents went up, and then we combined it with improving the house, so rents jumped up from, say, roughly $800 to roughly $1,200. Okay, so that takes something from $250 a month to almost $600 a month. Because as the rent goes up, the percentage stays the same for the vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. But now that percentage, say it's at 20%, 20% of 800 is less than 20% of 1200. Okay, so I'm holding more out for expenses. All right, because expenses always happen. All right, when you only have a couple rentals, you got to have reserves. You really got to have reserves because it can hurt. If you got to put a roof on, it's $5,200. If you don't have that money, it can hurt. If you got to replace hot water heater, if you got to replace the sewer line in the backyard or the front yard, you need cash reserves. I have videos about it. We've done real estate real estate discussions where we talk about the importance of cash reserves. All right, but if you set those goals, those monetary goals, when you work a job, if you're in the military, because I got some people in the military that follow this channel, you get raises when you get promoted, and you get raises at like the 2-year mark or the 4-year mark, longevity type raises. If you work a job for a company or in the government, you may get annual cost of living raises, you may get merit raises, you may get promoted and get a raise. Okay, but if you look at your investing and you set goals, your first goal maybe is $1,000 a month from your investments. Okay, let's say it's real estate, so 4 houses, $1,000 a month. And then from there, set a goal of $5,000 a month. And let's take that 5 to 10, that 10 to 25. All right, and once we get to 25, we'll talk about what we do beyond that, because I'm not at 25 yet, okay? And I would like to get there because it would make things more comfortable. Right? And some of you out there would be like, comfortable? You are rich if you get $25,000 a month. And I will tell you, I think that's correct. $25,000 a month would be what? $250,000, $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year, I think by definition is upper middle class, I believe. It's high upper middle class, perhaps. I don't think you're in the wealthy level yet for income, but you're high upper middle class. So set goals. All right, set goals. If you haven't bought your first, Take that first step. Buy that first rental house and get that $250 a month, plus or minus. Okay? And when I say plus or minus, I have learned, and I have some experience in buying a bunch of real estate, up to like, say 20. I've bought all together. I've had like 26 or 27 rentals altogether. I've sold some, and I'm shuffling around, and I'm growing. But, but what I have learned is, say if I buy a house and I don't get quite as good of a deal as I wanted, and I get $190 a month positive cash flow. If I'm fairly confident that through a combination of the rent currently being under market value and some improvements, I can get that rent up, at least $100 a month up, that would push my positive cash flow up probably to at least $250. And I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm okay with that. I don't want to buy something where, as Michael Zuber calls it, an alligator. I'm not going to negative cash flow from the get-go, because then I'm in the hole, and what if society changes and I can't get the rents up? Okay, so you got to have positive cash flow. All right, good enough. I have a chat coming later today with Millennial Mike. I think that'll be a good one. Later in this week, I have two big names coming. I think one is, if they all work out, one will be on Friday and one's on Saturday, I do believe. And I'll throw the names out to you. They both have YouTube channels. They are both successful real estate investors. They were both financially independent through real estate. All right, they both have their stories to share. One of them is a female, April Crosley. One of them is a male, Dion Talks. I think it's Dion Talks. Talks Dion. You'll like both of them, all right? You can listen to me, hopefully just say some few little questions and get them talking, and you will hear their stories, okay? All right, so sit back, enjoy the ride, put the seatbelt on because you got to stay safe so you'll be around for the ride, and take that first step. And if you've already taken it, take the second, take the third, and break into a trot. All right, let's keep this journey going. Okay, Mazske signing out. Take care.